Hello viewers, welcome to the session on stress management. Well, you've been watching many of these IARE YouTube programs. I'm Sunil Solomon, working as an assistant professor of English. Okay, and stress, an important aspect of our lives, which all of us have been suffering from different kinds of stress problems, stress difficulties, most importantly, the personal lives, professional lives, public lives, everywhere, because maybe of this jealousy, mind games, petty politics, and the rat race, the competition, that is resulting in lots and lots of stress in human lives. So how to manage stress in our lives and how to lead our lives happily, and confidently is the discussion in this video lecture today. So let's go and see more about this stress management, the stress causing, factors, and how to overcome the stress in our lives, how to win, how to burst this stress successfully and confidently in our lives. Here we go. Well, the word stress is a fact of life. Wherever you are and whatever you are doing, okay, everybody, including beginning from a child in a school to maybe the chief minister and prime minister of our country, of our land, all of us are, experiencing this, facing this, most importantly during this pandemic, COVID-19 times, stress. And rather, because of stress, many of them, they have spoiled their health. Rather, some of them, they have even lost their lives, according to our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, who said that some of them, they lost their life by watching television when they saw those dead bodies in the hospitals, and when the COVID bodies are being, when others were performing those last rites of the COVID bodies, dead bodies. So it's a fact of life. And wherever you are and whatever you are doing, all of us have been going through this. All of us have been suffering from this problem. So therefore, you cannot avoid this, but you can learn to manage it so it doesn't manage you. Okay. See, all that we can do is probably we cannot avoid stress because of this stress-driven world and stress-filled world. All that we can do is we can always learn. We can always, acquire the skills, okay, learn the skills to manage it so that it doesn't manage us, rule us, dominate us, okay, pressurize us and put us under pressure. Changes in our lives, such as going to college, getting married, changing jobs, or illness, these are all frequent sources of stress. Okay, going to college, or you see nowadays, that's what I said, beginning from LKG to PG. Beginning from a KG child to a PG student, okay, getting married, when you get married, okay, that's again a very big, rather life's decision and life's maybe promise and agreement that you make with your life partner. So yes, a lot of stress also there, maybe because of, salaries in terms of feeding children, bringing them up, their studies, medicine, okay, healthcare. That is again another stress that people are suffering from. All in terms of monetary things. Changing jobs. People frequently, especially if that is a private sector, of course, public sector, government sector, people they don't, because that's a permanent job and their lives are secured. So at the most, maybe they will have transfers and promotions. But when it comes to private sector, people keep changing jobs in the name of less salary, more pressure, okay. Several kinds of reasons for people who work in private sector to change jobs. All of us know that. All of us have been witnessing all these things in our day-to-day life. Illness, sickness is another stress problem. You see, when a person is sick in his body, when a person is ill in his body, naturally it affects his confidence level, adversely affects his confidence levels. Okay, it adversely, negatively affects his, preparation, memory power, projection, presentation, demonstration, display. All these things are negatively, adversely affected when a person is suffering from some sort of illness or sickness. So these are all frequent sources of stress. So when you identify the source of it, you will come to know the troubleshoot. We can, you know, find out the troubleshooters. We can always resort to some sort of, respite from such stress-causing factors. Okay, right. Keep in mind that changes that cause stress can also benefit you. See, all the kinds of changes that cause stress, they are on one hand, actually, they are not a problem, they are a benefit. How? Why? Moving away from home to attend college, for example, creates personal development opportunities, new challenges, friends, living arrangements. That is why it's important to know yourself and carefully consider the causes of stress. We cannot say, okay, moving from home to college or moving from home to the workplace is a stress-causing factor. No, it's not. In fact, that is because people usually say, especially for men, because they are breadwinners. Women, of course, they have an option of working or not working. But whereas most importantly for men who are the breadwinners of the family, so for them it is not a stress-causing factor. Maybe, but at the same time, it's also a stress-busting factor because the reason is that's his livelihood. When he loves his work, when he finds out the tips and techniques of managing those stress-causing factors, that becomes his wonderful, enjoyment. I don't use the word enjoyment, but definitely a place of pleasure where he loves doing his job, he loves performing his duties, and he's properly benefited in terms of monetary benefits. Okay, that gives him immense satisfaction, confidence, image in the society. Okay, that kind of image in the society. All these things we cannot say these are stress causing factors. Rather, on the other hand, they are also a kind of stress busting factors, or they are the factors which provide him the character, which give him the character and image in the society, isn't it? A kind of facelift in the society, right? Okay, so let's go and see more about the stress management, the definition, the causes of it, and how to come out of the stress causing factors. Right, here we go. Learning to do this takes time. Learning to do what? Learning to manage stress takes time. And although you cannot avoid stress, the good news is that you can minimize the harmful effects of stress, such as depression or hypertension. You see, as we discussed in the first slide, we may not completely avoid stress, but all that we can do is at least we can, minimize the harmful effects, the adverse effects, negative effects, hazardous effects of stress. Otherwise, the health gets spoiled. That's the reason most of the people nowadays are suffering from, they are suffering from problems such as cholesterol, right? They are suffering from sugar, high levels of sugar. Okay, they are suffering from hypertension or hypotension. Hypertension generally because, it is high blood pressure. Hypertension is high BP, high blood pressure. Or thyroid problems, even thyroid-related problems, thyroid gland-related problems. So why all this? Because, see, people, at times they are able to manage, okay? At times they are not able to manage. They keep everything to themselves. They retain everything to themselves. They don't open up in front of friends, not even with very confidential friends, parents, and relatives, siblings, neighbors, near and dear ones, loved ones. Therefore, that sort of stress is causing, or it is resulting in, or it is leading to different kinds of health problems, such as hypertension, depression, most important. Most of them are nowadays suffering from depression, which is an indescribable kind of thing, a very silent depression, a very kind of a depression which they are not able to express in words, which they only know to themselves, which they suffer very silently, right? The key is to develop an awareness of how you interpret and react to circumstances. How do you develop an awareness? How do you develop a kind of understanding of how to interpret, how to understand, how to analyze and discern and react to circumstances, situations, context, references, right? That is the need of that's the need of the day. So developing that understanding of how we analyze this stress. This awareness will help you develop coping techniques for managing stress. So when you understand it properly, when you discern it properly, that will give you the scope for coping techniques. It will give you the scope for the meaning of cope. By the way, most of the Indians, the common mistake that they commit in spoken communication, connected speech is, I'm not able to cope, and then the wrong preposition is used there. A wrong preposition is used there. So cope always goes with, okay? It is not used with other prepositions. Therefore, coping techniques, the meaning of cope is manage, according to Oxford Mini Dictionary. To cope is to manage. Coping techniques, tips for managing stress. For example, as an army platoon leader, managing stress will require techniques that include an awareness of yourself and your soldiers. So if you are an army platoon leader, if you are maybe a captain or commander in the army, managing stress there, that will require techniques that include an awareness of yourself and your soldiers. You see, you need to understand first of all yourself. What is your attitude, approach? What is your emotional, intelligence? How best do you understand your own emotions, and how best do you understand the opposite person's emotions? That's called emotional intelligence, which is again very important to manage stress. So, the 6 emotions that we have are happiness, sadness, fear, anger, disgustment, and last one is surprise. I repeat, happiness, sadness, fear, anger, right, disgustment, and surprise. So how do you manage these 6 emotions? Right? Not only these 6 emotions, even other emotions. Maybe jealousy is an emotion. Unable to contain your joy is an emotion. All those things. So, as an army leader, as an army commander, he has to understand himself better first, and then he has to understand the, attitude, approach of his soldiers. As you will see, the stress you encounter as a student differs in intensity from what you may experience in the army, particularly while deployed or in combat. Combat is, facing war or taking part in the war. So here, in the fight, maybe, and the stress you encounter as a student is different in terms of the intensity, in terms of its magnitude, gravity, from what you experience in the army. See, a student's tension, a student's stress is different from what an army commander, army, captain experiences, particularly those who are put in the war, who are deployed or who are in combat, right? There it is totally different, because you need to understand the enemy, guess his forecast, his fighting techniques. You need to analyze and you need to estimate the brain of the opposite enemy. So that is something very, very important, right? Which differs in terms of intensity, gravity, and magnitude of the stress that is experienced by a student, maybe in a school or in a college, isn't it? Right. Now, defining stress. If we define this stress is the way human beings react both physically and mentally to changes, events, and situations in their lives. So it is a way human beings react both physically and mentally to changes to events, circumstances, situations, context, references in their lives. So how do you respond to that stress? How do you react to that stress? Okay. That is actually the definition of stress. The way you respond and the way you react to different kinds of events, situations, circumstances is physically and mentally. That is stress. People experience stress in different ways and for different reasons. The reaction is based on your perception of an event or situation. If you view a situation negatively, adversely, you will likely feel distressed, overwhelmed, oppressed, or out of control. Distress is the more familiar form of stress, right? See, it all depends on your perception of stress. How do you see stress? How do you, understand stress? See, the same kind of situation, circumstance, context is viewed differently by a different person who is very cool, calm, composed, patient, right? Who takes some time to calm down himself, right? To speak to himself in terms of his emotions, mentally, physically. differs from person to person. How? Why? Well, I hope you're all with me. You are there while I'm trying to explain this, stress management and definition of stress, understanding stress levels in our life. Uh, you see, the way you view a situation, most importantly, do you view that situation negatively or positively? That is something very, very important. You will likely feel distress. If it is a negative perception, naturally there is distress. There is kind of, you're overwhelmed by that stress, by that pressure, okay, by that oppression, are out of control. At times, even you may shout, you may lose temper, you may, shout at people. You may take it out on others, which is not at all good. That means you are not able to manage your emotions and you are not a balanced personality. No organization, no institution likes such a kind of person. Most importantly, in this stress-driven society, pressure-driven society. So balancing emotions, right? That's the reason I would like to I would like to give a very good example here. I have one of my friends who is working in one of the engineering colleges. So we were talking about one manager who is very hot-tempered, bad-tempered, short-tempered, and ill-tempered, grumpy, cantankerous, right? I've given around 5-6 synonyms here. You know very well that I give lots of synonyms in all my, video sessions. So this person is a very hot-tempered, bad-tempered, ill-tempered, manager. We both were talking about him on the phone. Then my friend said, hey, what manager is he? A manager who cannot manage his own emotions. How, appropriate, isn't it? If you say you are the manager, what sort of a manager, you are? What sort of a manager are you who cannot manage your own emotions? Right? Maybe your anger, your happiness, your sadness, your disgustment, your fear, your, surprise elements. So that's a need of the hour. That's a need of the day. Right? Okay. Distress is the more familiar form of stress. The other form, eustress, EU, any EU is good. Any U or EU is good. So, here, there is also something called as eustress, meaning positive stress. Results from a positive view of an event or situation. It's a healthy stress. It's not a sickly stress, which is why it's also called good stress. Eustress helps you rise to a challenge and can be an antidote to boredom because it engages focused energy. It actually captures and engages focused energy. I would like to again bring another example here for your easy understanding, so that it is more tangible and understandable to all our viewers, listeners of this stress management program. Well, while I was doing one of the communication skills training program in the state of Kerala, that was my first day as one of the Oxford University Press resource persons. I was taken to the hotel, and in the hotel we have a convention hall where I was supposed to, meet the experienced teachers, mind you. These are all CBSE English teachers who have been teaching English for the past 15, 16, 17 years. And I was supposed to do a communication skills English language training program for them, right? I was under enormous pressure for one reason, because, Kerala is one of the highly literate states, as we all know very well in our country. And secondly, Keralites are brilliant people. They are everywhere in the world. And to face them, to do a training program for them confidently and successfully, I had to read a lot rather, trust me. So the first day of my, training program or workshop, I was reading late into the night, burning the midnight oil, maybe till 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. So at that time, something entered my mind and I felt like, my God, will I be able to do this today? Or because of this pressure and tension, which is not negative, mind you, which is positive stress, which is not negative. Will I be admitted in a hospital? Will people have to, administer, some sort of saline to me, some glucose to me? These kinds of thoughts, negative thoughts started entering my mind while I was in the hotel preparing for the training program or workshop to face those English language CBSE 16, 17 years experienced teachers. Then I did one thing. I just sat in prayer, meditation, okay? Complete prayer, meditation kind of mode, submit myself completely, to that spiritual, God, and then I could sleep for maybe 2 or 3. I believe in God. I'm a theist. I'm not an atheist. So I could sleep for maybe 2 or 3 hours happily, peacefully, like a baby. And after 2 hours, I was ready, okay, completely ready to do that training program. And by God's grace, it went off really well, really well. All that I'm trying to say here is positive stress is not negative stress. Positive stress will enable you, empower you, enlighten you, enrich you to prepare well, to prepare yourself well for the task, for the situation, for various kinds of circumstances that you face there, and that will rather make you a very confident, bold, successful, and a very productive kind of personality. Okay, right? That is all about eustress or positive stress. Let us go and see the rest of the slides in this presentation on stress management. Well, that energy can easily turn to distress. Which energy? The energy that cannot be focused properly in one particular task can easily be turned into distress. If you look at it negatively, if you allow fear to conquer you, fear to dominate you and overpower you, what will happen is that positive energy will be easily converted into distress. However, if something causes you to view the situation as unmanageable or out of control. Generally, see, when are we afraid? Whenever we feel like, oh my God, this is unmanageable. I cannot manage this situation. This is out of my control. Then fear will start overpowering the person. Fear will start, dominating the person and remote controlling the person. Never ever allow that to dominate you, overpower you, and, remote control you. Always remember, when you believe in yourself, and if you are a theist, when you believe in God who has given you that energy, I'm sure you will be able to do things confidently and successfully. Right. Many people regard public speaking or airplane flights as very stressful, causing physical reactions such as an increased heart rate and a loss of appetite. Right. While others look forward to the event. See, not all of us are very comfortable in flying, in traveling by an aeroplane. Right. By the word flying, I mean to say traveling by an aeroplane. So they feel very stressful, some of them, especially during the takeoffs and especially during the landings, takeoff of the flight and landing of the flight. That is where people are very afraid of. All of us, some of them manage it very easily. Some of them, they don't manage. So what will happen is that will cause physical reactions such as an increased heart rate. Someone says, oh my God, why is that there's some problem? There seems to be some problem in the engine during the takeoff. These kind of people, their heart starts racing. Okay, I remember one of the movie jokes here. Okay, a person who boarded the flight for the very first time. He was talking to the protagonist of the movie, the hero of the movie, and this man was actually very afraid of that first flying experience. And by taking that advantage, the hero, the protagonist of the movie, comes to this comedian, and he tells him, "You see, some eagle. Okay, while the journey was on, while they were in the air." He said, you see, we are going to land in Malaysia. But the problem here is some eagle, some blind eagle, it came there and it actually punctured the tire of the flight. So just imagine our fate when we land in Malaysia. Now, this man, okay, until the flight lands in Malaysia, this man was literally shivering. It was like jittery waves down the spine of this comedian in the movie, right? I hope some of you might also recollect this scene that I'm talking about. So, your mental perception, your physical perception to that situation, reaction, that might increase heart rate, loss of appetite, loss of hunger, while others look forward to the event. While others, they also see that, but they see it in a different way. They see it from a very positive perspective, not from a very negative perspective. So they don't feel such kinds of negative reactions in their body, mentally or physically, emotionally rather. It's often a question of perception. A positive stressor for one person can be a negative stressor for another. A negative stressor for one person can be a positive stressor for another. Right? Okay, great. Let us go and see more about this stress and stress management. As noted in the introduction, you can learn to manage stress. Right? You may not avoid stressful situations, context, references, okay, circumstances. But all that you can do is you can definitely manage or you can learn to manage stressful situations, stressful circumstances. The first step is understanding yourself better, how you react in different situations, what causes you stress, and how you behave when you feel stressed. Once you have done that, take the following steps. Understand, first of all, understand what yourself better, right? How do you react in different situations? Tense situations, it's situations that causes maybe, that causes you, to lose your temper, anger, right? Situations that puts you in fear, situations that put you in some sort of embarrassment, disgustment, right? How do you react to certain situations, respond to certain situations, circumstances? Understand that, first of all, about yourself in a better fashion. What causes you stress and how you behave when you feel stressed? Okay, do you feel sweating, or do you feel like drinking water most of the times? Do you don't feel like talking to people, sitting very calm? Are you keep shouting at people because you are hyper stressed, over stressed? Most of them, they do this. When they are over stressed, they keep shouting at people, and that is one way of actually letting out their emotions on others, which is not at all good, because others may get hurt during the same time. And once you hurt you, no one of us, no one of us have the right to hurt other people. What right do we have to hurt other people? And again, you will have to go apologize them, convince them, do all those things. Instead of that, balance your emotions in the first place. Be a balanced personality to manage stress, effectively and efficiently, if you cannot avoid stress. Okay, once you have done that, take the following steps. Once you understand yourself, okay, take the following steps that I'm going to discuss now here. Set priorities. Okay, set yourself different kinds of priorities. What are they? Make a to-do list. Decide what is really important to get done today and what can wait. What is important, what can wait. Okay, this helps you to know that you are working on your most immediate priorities, and you don't have the stress of trying to remember what you should be doing, because you know very well that is your today list. It is jotted down on a piece of paper. So first is this, next is this, third is this. So half of the confusion there, stress there, pressure there, tension there is already taken care of. So one by one, in a sequence, logical or chronological sequence, most importantly, you will finish off those tasks so that you are relieved. You are relieved from your tension, pressure, stress, right? So that you are more of a confident personality on that day at that particular time, right? This helps you to know what you are working on, your most immediate priorities, and you don't have the stress of trying to remember what you should be doing, because when you have jotted it down on a piece of paper in terms of a to-do list, you don't have to remember everything, right? Great. That will also reduce half of the stress that people suffer from, because most of them, they have memory problems, right? They forget things. They think so many things in the morning when they wake up from the bed, but when they actually start working, they make everything a mess. They forget things. They do which needs to be done at the end first, which needs to be done in the middle, at the last. Something they mess up. So it's always good to write down or jot down on a piece of paper so that everything is taken care of and everything is done in a systematic and organized manner. Right. Okay. Practice facing stressful moments. What is this? How to face stressful moments? Well, think about the event or situation you expect to face and rehearse your reactions. Always think about the event or situation you expect to face, you are supposed to encounter, and always go for a rehearsal of that reactions. For instance, you are going to face the audience in the auditorium, and you are the compere, you are the host of the program. That is maybe the college day celebrations or annual day celebrations. Always go for the rehearsal in front of your friends, parents, neighbors, near and dear ones, whoever you believe, whoever you believe, whoever you feel like they are the right people to judge you, to give you correct criticism, right comments. Okay, do go for reactions so that half of the stress is conquered there itself. Then when you go there, yes, on the dais, on the podium also you'll have some stress, which can be gradually overcome based on your proper planning, preparation and presentation. All right, great. Find ways to practice dealing with the challenge. If you know that speaking in front of a group frightens you, that's the example that I've taken just now, practice doing it, perhaps with a trusted friend or fellow student. If the pressure of taking tests causes you to freeze up, buy some practice tests at the school, bookstore, or online and work with them when there are no time pressures. Well, especially people who are writing these IELTS exams, TOEFL exams, practice them a lot if that is causing all the stress to you. Especially when you are facing these kinds of standardized tests, TOEFL, IELTS, what will happen is these are all native speakers. Most importantly, when you listen something in the listening test, their pronunciation at times is very difficult for you to understand. Listening comprehension passage, you have to listen, understand, and answer the questions that follow, which requires enormous practice. You should get exposed to that native speaker's accent, dialect, their pronunciation, their style of pronunciation. Therefore, practice a lot if that is freezing you, if that is causing all the stress to you, right? Buy those practice tests, keep practicing a lot so that you will gain the confidence, authority, fluency, accuracy, command, right? Okay, great. And also work on the time pressures. What is the start time? What is the end time? How much time do you take there? How many marks are you scoring? What are the efforts that you are still, you are expected to put in further? All that analysis and interpretation has to be done properly to practice facing those stressful moments. Here we go to the rest of the slides in this presentation. Examine your expectations. Always check your expectations. Examine your expectations. Try to set realistic goals, practical goals, not just building castles in the air, not just wishful thinking, fantasies and dreamlands. Realistic goals, realistic targets. Set yourself such kinds of realistic goals and targets. It is good to push yourself to achieve. Always, keep pushing yourself to achieve. But make sure your expectations are realistic. Watch out for perfectionism. Of course, nobody is perfect. We keep learning. We learn from mistakes. Failures are the stepping stone of success. But don't make mistakes as part and parcel of your presentations or part and parcel of your life. Otherwise, that will become your lifestyle. Avoid them step by step, gradually. Okay. In the transition of your life, you should avoid those mistakes. Learn from those mistakes. Never repeat them. Never ever repeat them. That will also make you a very confident personality, and that will help you, enable you to overcome stress confidently and successfully. Right. Be satisfied with doing the best you can. Nobody is perfect. Not you, not your fellow cadet, nobody. Allow people the liberty to make mistakes, and remember that mistakes can be a good teacher. That's what I've said just now. Failures can be, they are the stepping stones of success, but failure should not become, part and parcel of your life. When you know that this is a mistake that you have committed, next time you should try your level best to avoid that mistake so that you will become a confident personality and you will become a person who can manage the stress confidently, effectively and efficiently. Great. Let us go and see the next slide in our presentation. Live a healthy lifestyle. You see, these are all troubleshooters to overcome stress, troubleshooters to manage stress. What is that we have seen so far? We have seen examining expectations. We have seen practicing, stressful moment or facing stressful moments. These are all troubleshooters. Setting priorities. What is first? What is next? What is third? They are all troubleshooters. All right, great. Living a healthy lifestyle. What is this? Plenty of exercise. Okay. People say healthy mind in a healthy body. I believe in this as a fitness freak, as a fitness enthusiast. At least, I go for light exercise or at times even heavy exercise. Physical exercise is something very, very important. Your fitness, speaks volumes about your personality, body language, verbal communication, non-verbal communication. Then eat healthy foods, right? Don't go for all the unhealthy kinds of foodstuffs. Most importantly, the pizzas and burgers that people are always crazy about. Go for, organic foods most of the time. Then allow time for rest and relax, because pizzas and burgers will further intensify your stress. They will further elevate your stress. They will not, cool you down. They will not make you a calm and composed person. Go for organic foods. Allow time for rest and relaxation. This is $1 million tip and technique. You see, God has given us this sleep as a gift, Because I remember I've also done some of the paramedical courses. I remember one of our seniors, our senior doctors telling us that during the sleep, what happens is the worn out cells, the dead cells, the tired cells are always replaced by fresh cells, new cells, right? That is the reason in the morning after you had a peaceful sleep, joyful sleep, good night sleep, in the morning when you wake up, you feel very recharged, rejuvenated, refreshed, revived. Okay, why? Because during the sleep, all the exhausted cells, worn out cells, tired cells, are dead cells are replaced by fresh new cells. This is a beautiful, wonderful, miraculous mechanism that God has put in our God has put it in our body as a natural mechanism. Therefore, earmarking time, allowing time for rest and relaxation is something that is extremely important to manage stress confidently and successfully. Find a relaxation technique that works for you. It may be prayer, it may be yoga, it may be meditation or breathing exercises. Look for the humor in life and enjoy yourself. Laughter is the best medicine. That is the reason, JAQ. I always go for jacks in my classes. What is this jack? This is not some sort of jack that is used to repair, automobiles, to repair a bike or a car. Jack is JAQ, jokes, anecdotes, and quotations. I believe in this. Of course, MAT is another acronym there: method, approach, and technique, right? But Jack here, because humor is the medicine of life. So try to keep yourself, happy all the time in terms of jokes. Never leave any situation or circumstance that makes you happy. Try to be a very easily mingling person, gel well with friends, okay, crack jokes, laugh to your heart's content, be merry, right? Eat well, sleep well, go for very good fitness exercises, and prove yourself as a successful student and a successful employee in your workplace, right? So relaxation techniques that work are, for some of them it is prayer, right? For some of them it is yoga, meditation, right? They focus on the heartbeat. Some of them they focus on breathing. Some of them they focus on their different kinds of they go for numbers by closing their eyes, by completely focusing on their heartbeat or breathing, inhaling, exhaling, other things. Look for the humor, enjoy yourself. These are all the stress bursting strategies. A strategy is a careful plan or a careful method. Okay, great. Learn to accept change as part of life. You see, change is always welcome. Otherwise, routine, boring, stereotype things people may not like. So we always love to see some change. We always like to see some, further growth. That's the reason research and development is always there in our society, in our lives, so that something new, something inventive, creative, something imaginative, an idea can change your life. Something that is thought-provoking, brainstorming, innovative should always be there in lives. Otherwise, lives are boring, isn't it? Academic, professional, personal lives. So nothing stays the same. Things keep changing. As the time flies by, things also keep changing. Develop a support system of friends and relatives you can talk to when needed. You see, this support system of friends, relatives, near and dear ones, loved ones, is something very, very important as a wonderful stress-busting mechanism. You see, what will happen is all the burden, all the kind of pressure that you have in your heart, it is when you go for a walk, maybe evening walk or a morning walk, what will happen is when you share it maybe with your confident friend, maybe with your very confident relative, sibling, okay, neighbor, near and dear one, loved one, all of us, we have experienced this several times where we feel like the burden in your heart is completely very light. You feel like it is very light because in that discussion, only with the confident people with whom you believe, not with every Tom, Dick and Harry. Otherwise, they might again take advantage of the situation there. That's again a big problem which we all know very well. These are all the things that we all know. But you see, when you discuss maybe on a one-on-one basis, maybe with a counselor, with a friend, with a guide, with a philosopher, probably you will come up with some sort of solution. Your burden gets light in your heart. All right. Okay. Believe in yourself and your potential, caliber. Never ever disbelieve or never ever underestimate your talent and potential. Remember that many people from disadvantaged backgrounds, okay, have gone on to enjoy great success in life. They might be people from disadvantaged backgrounds. They might be, people who do not have proper amenities, facilities, infrastructure, equipment, but still they have proved themselves and they have come up as, leaders in this. They have emerged themselves as leaders in their lives. There are so many of that sort in our country itself, isn't it? Great. And what are the other things? What are the other stress bursting, strategies to manage stress effectively and efficiently? Learn to accept change as part of life. You see, change is always part of life. Learn to always accept it. Okay? Right. At the same time, avoid those activities that promise release from stress while actually adding to it. Drinking alcohol, despite what all those TV commercials imply, drinking caffeine, smoking, using narcotics, including, marijuana, and that is one of the drugs, and overeating all add to the body stress in addition to their other harmful effects. So you see, drinking alcohol will never reduce your stress. Rather, it will intensify your stress. Maybe for some time you feel like you are, you're hanging around. But, once that hangover comes down, okay, once that kick comes down, you'll again, face that stress in a double portion. So never ever go for such kinds of alcohols or caffeines, most of drinking more of the coffee or tea, smoking, okay, narcotic, drugs kind of thing, overeating, okay. All these things, they will actually intensify the stress. They will elevate the stress levels in addition to their other harmful effects. So be very careful about those food habits, okay, or regular other habits that people generally go for. Always accept change as part of life. Okay, great. Strategies to deal with stress. What are the other strategies? Well, the meaning of strategy, according to Oxford Mini Dictionary, is a careful plan or a careful method, right? So what are those careful plans? What are those careful methods to efficiently and effectively manage stress in our lives? Personal, professional, academic, and other areas. Here are some other strategies for dealing with stress. Schedule time for vacation, breaks in your routine, hobbies, and fun activities. Always, plan, timetable certain vacations, maybe summer, winter, whatsoever, whichever is convenient for you. Breaks in routine, hobbies, fun. That's the reason most of the multinational companies, they are themselves scheduling and timetabling certain vacation, holiday, times for their employees to help them overcome the stress. Maybe places like Europe and other places where they can relax, enjoy, forget themselves, and they come back with renewed, recharge, rejuvenated energies to work with added energy levels, right? Hobbies and fun activities. Go for them. Try to arrange for uninterrupted time to accomplish tasks that need your concentration. When you are working seriously on some project, some preparation, go for an uninterrupted time to accomplish those tasks which require your CID. Well, CID is not just crime investigation department. CID is concentration, that requires your concentration. Okay. I is interest. Okay. And D is dedication. So that is CID full form. Okay. In terms of our stress management. So concentration, whatever assignments, whichever projects demand your concentration, interest, dedication, do them with undivided attention, undistracted attention, so that your stress is completely taken care of. Arrange some leisure time during which you can do things that you really enjoy. Maybe some breaks. Maybe if you are interested in music, listen to the music, pray, meditate. Okay, go for a light walk. Speak to your favorite person, favorite friend, whoever it is. Avoid scheduling too many appointments, meetings, and classes back to back. See, do not bite more than what you can chew. A wonderful quotation for the day for all of you. Don't bite more than what you can chew. What will happen? You bite a big burger, you will just, make everything messy on your shirt, maybe here on your mouth. That nothing else. So bite what you can chew. Don't bite more than what you can chew. Avoid scheduling too many appointments, too many engagements and meetings. Don't make yourself completely busy. Keep some time for yourself, and even classes for that matter back to back. If you are a teacher, if you are an instructor, most of it, if you are a student, if you are going for some coaching classes, training classes, don't go for classes back to back. Have some breaks, take some time for yourself, enjoy life, right? Because Heaven will not fall down if you don't do everything on the same day at the same time. Isn't it? Right, great. What are the other strategies to deal with stress? Allow breaks to catch your breaths. Take a few slow, deep breaths whenever you feel, stressed. Breathe from the abdomen, and as you exhale, silently say to yourself, I feel calm. See, there are so many GIFs, so many videos that are posted on WhatsApps during the times of this, COVID-19, 2019, 2020. We have seen lots and lots of these breathing exercises, because coronavirus is the one that targets your lungs. So doctors have suggested and prescribed lots and lots of lung exercises, respiratory exercises. So practice all of them to come out of stress, to overcome stress effectively and efficiently. Become an expert at managing your time. Specialist, master in managing your time. Read books, view videos, attend seminars on time management. Listen to the speeches of famous personalities, their motivational inspiration talks. How did they manage time? What sort of failures did they face in their life? How did they come up, emerge themselves as leaders in their life? Watch them, read them, make them your own. Those tips and techniques to manage stress effectively and efficiently. Once you cut down on time wasters, you will find more time to recharge yourself. So, first of all, cut down your time wasters. Then you will definitely get more time to revive yourself, recharge, rejuvenate, refresh yourself. That's the reason you always go for F5 button in the computer. Refresh, refresh, refresh. In the same fashion, refresh your body, refresh your mind, refresh your emotions, physical, mental, emotions, isn't it? So that you can handle this stress confidently as a student in the college and as an employee in your workplace, maybe your dream company, TCS, Wipro, wherever it is. What are the other strategies to deal with stress? Learn to say no. Setting limits can minimize stress. Spend time on your main responsibilities and priorities rather than allowing other people's priorities or needs to dictate how you spend your time. You see, you need to be a bit selfish here. You need to set limits, and you should always learn to say no. That is assertiveness. What is assertiveness? When you speak confidently and when you speak openly so that people can notice your desires and opinions. That is being assertive. So there is nothing wrong in saying no when you cannot do that, properly and successfully, and you cannot put yourself also in stress. Okay, so learning to say no is that. So setting limits can minimize stress. Spend time on your main responsibilities and priorities, not on other people's priorities and needs. Don't let them dominate your lives. Don't unnecessarily, allow them to dictate your lives and your priorities, your goals and your targets. They need not tell you how you spend your time. You have to learn. You should understand. You should know, but they should not be dominating you, mind you. Exercise regularly to reduce muscle tension and promote a sense of well-being. Go for physical fitness exercises. Be a fitness freak. Be a fitness enthusiast to reduce muscle tension. Promote a sense of well-being to promote that. Tap into your support network, family, friends, social groups that can help, when dealing with stressful events. I've already said this. Family, loved ones, near and dear ones, people whom you believe. Go for them. Talk to them. Okay? If required, share your problems with them. Go for their counseling. Nothing wrong. But only people whom you believe, only people who are really worthy to do such things. Not every Tom, Dick and Harry. Otherwise, they will just make your life a joke. Never ever forget that. Now, what are the signs of stress? We all experience stress differently in different situations. Sometimes you might be able to tell right away when you are feeling under stress, but other times you might keep going without recognizing the signs. Stress can affect you both emotionally and physically, and can affect the way you behave rather. Your behavior also will be affected. Your body language, your posture, the way you think. I remember one of our professors saying, I'm sorry, Sunil, I'm not able to think straight now because I'm under enormous pressure. I'm enormous tension, so I'm unable to think straight. Why is it you are not able to think straight? Why is that at times people are not able to think straight? They even go for suicides, unable to bear the pressure and tension, right? Never ever do that, because there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Never ever do that. These are all foolish, decisions. Never ever do that. Next is, okay, my head is tight and all my thoughts are whizzing around in different directions and I can't catch them. You see, when you are highly tense, highly pressurized, what will happen? Your head is tight and your thoughts are whizzing around in different directions, and you can't catch those thoughts, because your brain is racing and you're actually pressurized and tense with several kinds of, tensions, pressures and other things, right? Characteristics of stress to recognize or identify. How do you feel when you are highly stressed or highly tensed? Irritating, embarrassing. You don't feel like talking to people. When they talk to you, you feel like you shout at them, you lose your temper, right? Aggressiveness, hot-headed, bad-tempered, short-tempered, ill-tempered nature. This is the biggest enemy, mind you. Your anger is your biggest enemy. You should control it. Impatient nature, not losing your patience very easily, very frequently. Wound up. You are mentally wounded. Most importantly, mentally, you are hurt because somebody said something in the morning. So that is actually bothering you. That is actually pestering you, and that's actually troubling you the whole day. Never ever allow that to trouble you, pester you. Go talk to the person, right? Settle things amicably, properly. Overburdened. When you are highly stressed, highly burdened, highly pressurized, you are overburdened, right? Anxious. The meaning of anxiety according to Oxford Mini Dictionary is uneasiness or worried nature. I repeat, uneasiness or worried nature. Nervousness, phobia, okay, pressing panic buttons, afraid, like your thoughts are racing and you can't switch off. Your brain is actually racing because you're pressurized to the maximum. You're actually cornered. You're actually cornered because of those pressures, tensions. You're obsessed by those thoughts. You have a bee in your bonnet about those worries, tensions, financial, personal, whatsoever, professional kinds of tensions and problems. Unable to enjoy yourself, right? These are all characteristics of stress. Okay? To recognize and identify stress. Depressed, most importantly, the biggest problem, depression. Uninterested in life. This is where they go for extreme decisions. Like you have lost your sense of humor, a sense of dreadfulness and fear, shock, phobia. Okay? Never allow fear to grip your life. Worried about health, neglected, or you feel lonely. All these things are signs and symptoms, characteristics of stress. So how to overcome all those things? Living a healthy lifestyle, learning to accept change as part of life, strategies to deal with stress. Go for humor, the laughter, the best medicine. Go for fitness exercises, right? Speak to your near and dear ones. Go for your support network, friends, loved ones, near and dear ones, confident people with whom you can share your feelings, with whom you can speak your heart out. I repeat, with whom you can speak your heart out, right? So these are all the troubleshooter of managing stress. Practice facing stressful moments. Okay, go for rehearsals, especially to face audience. Examine your expectations. Don't go for unnecessarily, building castles in the air. Go for a healthy life. So especially the food that you eat, sleep, rest, breaks, okay, that you need to take. Yoga, prayer, meditation, right? Going for a walk, jogging and other things. Speaking to your near and dear ones. Strategies, signs and characteristics. Try to identify them so that you can, overcome those signs and characteristics of stress, effectively and efficiently. And always remember the troubleshooters to overcome this stress in your student life and also in your professional life. So I think that's all I have for you in this session on stress management. I hope the program has been really useful, resourceful, and meaningful to all our viewers. Keep watching IARE YouTube. I am Sunil Solomon Philip. Thank you for watching this presentation on stress management. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.